Good afternoon. Let's start the daily discussion. The first topic is about the strengthening parliamentary security after the recent incident and the imperative for reforms. The recent breach of security at the heart of India's democracy, the Indian Parliament, on 13th December 2023, where two individuals infiltrated the Lok Sabha, demands a meticulous analysis of the incident, its historical context, and the subsequent repercussions. Okay, because recently, so from the visitors gallery, two miscreants, they jumped to the oil of the house and spray some spray to highlight some issues. So this has been recorded as one of the highest security breach in Parliament, because Indian Parliament earlier has been attacked by terrorists, and many security personnel sacrifice their life to save the Parliament of India. And in its own, on the same day after, okay, so they decided again to do such an activity inside the Parliament. It draws attention to the unsettling parallels between the recent security breach and the tragic event of December 13, 2001. The similar incident took place in 2001, 22 years before, on the same date, December 13th, when terrorists attacked Parliament, claiming the lives of 9 personnel engaged in the security. The current breach occurring on the same date raises concern about the efficacy of the security measures implemented post-2001, turning the spotlight on the layers of security and the technology employed to safeguard this citadel of democracy. In this new Parliament, so they attacked the old Parliament, and this present issue, the miscreant filtrate to the new Parliament building, which has been inaugurated recently. So rules pertaining to parliamentary visitors, rules 386 with the regulations of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha govern the entry, exit and removal of visitors, colloquially termed strangers within parliamentary parlance, during the House proceeding. Under Rule 387, the Speaker possesses the authority to expel strangers from any section of the House as deemed appropriate. Rule 387A, sanctioned by the Speaker, confers the ability upon a secretariat officer to expel or detain any stranger within House premises designated for members. This encompasses strangers admitted who exhibit misconduct, violate regulations outlined by the Speaker as per the Rule 386, or neglect to withdraw as directed under Rule 387 during the House sitting. So the entire control remain in the hand of the Speaker. Okay, being the presiding officer, he has absolute power in this to remove a person from the premises of the House, because this is the place of the parliamentarians. But visitors are allowed to the highest temple of democracy, but any violation so can lead them to be removed from the House. Members are exclusively permitted to request visitors cards for individuals personally well known to them. Certification is mandatory, declaring the aforementioned visitor is known to me personally as a relative, personal friend, and I assume the complete responsibility for him or her. Cards granting admission to visitors gallery are typically issued for a single sitting, generally lasting an hour. Non-transferability is a condition for issuance, so contingent upon the holders' adherence to the specified conditions. For security considerations, visitors are obligated to carry photo identification along with the provided certification. The certificate for entry is allowed by the Secretariat. Class search. Sorry, वो तीनटा तापर पुणी क्लास लगी दीटार क्लास जॉइन कली सॉरी वोटा तीनटा पुणी तीनटा लगी पांचटा साढ़े 10टा ब्रेक पुणी 12:30 रात 8:30 तो कॉल कर 5टा. The security considerations, visitors are obliged to carry photo identification along with the provided certification. Parallel regulations govern visitors' entry into the Rajya Sabha. Similarly, so this is the case of Lok Sabha, and similar is the situation in Rajya Sabha, where the presiding officer, of the chairman of Rajya Sabha, enjoys a similar power of allowing visitors or not, or restricting them. Members are strongly advised to exercise utmost caution particularly when facilitating the entry of individuals introduced by someone personally acquainted with them. Members shoulder responsibility for any untoward incidents or undesirable activity in the galleries attributable to the cardholders. If the cardholders do any mischief or misbehavior in the gallery, the responsibility for that is to be taken by the member on whose recommendation the card has been issued. Anatomy of the bridge: looking into the layers of security in place at Parliament House, including spike barriers, ballards, drop gates, scanners, array devices, and personnel from Central Police Forces. A phalanx of men and women from the Central Police Forces had deployed in the outer finesse, while the plainclothes men from the Parliamentary Duty Group and the Delhi Police manning the various stations and checkpoints in the inner environs. Despite these measures, the breach occurred along the various layers of personal screening for visitors. So, although these two visitors entered to the Parliament building with due passes issued by the MP, but what they carried is not verified. So, that is the biggest security violation you can say. Although they made an entry using the pass issued by the MP, class. Huh? No, online class. So despite these measures, the breach occurred after the various layers of personal screening for visitors. Fine. Experts identified the lapses in screening procedures, particularly in failures to detect plastic or rubber concealed in shoes, an aspect not covered by traditional metal detectors, because there are metal detectors fixed in the Parliament building, but as they carried that plastic or rubber concealed items, so they are able to get made an entry because the metal detector was unable to locate it and they hide it inside their shoe. The lack of watchfulness by the security personnel and the failure of the marshals to apprehend the intruders further compounded the breach. So there are so many persons engaged in the security. After the 2001 attack, but this incident has proved that all things became very casual and the verification had not been done properly. The crucial role of technology in fortifying security measures is emphasized, particularly the need for advanced screening technology like the backscatters, scanners capable of detecting substances such as plastic. Those who are watchful move ahead with the technology of the time. There is an announcement recently by the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security that Delhi Airport is to get full body scanners and computer tomography X-ray machines to ensure more thorough but also faster screening of the passengers. Comparison with international practices such as the use of millimeter wave scanners in the United States and Europe highlight the need for adopting cutting-edge technology to enhance security at the Parliament House. Blaming and responsibility: the distribution of responsibility for Parliament security is questioned, focusing on key positions such as the Joint Security and the Chief of the Central Reserve Police Forces and the Central Industrial Security Forces. With these positions vacant, attention is drawn to the Ministry of Home Affairs as the primary entry parliamentary terms for the security needs. The Home Affairs, which manage the Delhi Police. Concerns are raised about whether the Ministry of Home Affairs actively recommended the integration of new technology, underscoring the need for collaboration between the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Parliament to address security vulnerabilities. The issue lies in the lack of coordination between the Ministry of Home Affairs and the administrative bodies responsible for the Parliament security. The Ministry of Home Affairs should have played a proactive role in advising and implementing advanced technology upgrades. The ongoing political debate about jurisdictions and leadership role distract from the fundamental problem of access control failure. So it is known as access control failure. So, the political response to the breach of critic emphasized the significance of security failure rather than engaging jurisdictional debate. Stress is laid on the potential national security implications, particularly if the Prime Minister had been present during the breach, necessitating the intervention of the Special Protection Group (SPG), because the Prime Minister was not in the house when the incident took place, because the SPG was been given the responsibility or the security of the Prime Minister. That group was absent because the Prime Minister was not inside the premises of the Parliament. The absence of a preliminary statement from the Home Minister acknowledging the severity of the breach and announcing a high-level inquiry is a concern, especially given the potential threat to the Prime Minister. The opposition should wait for the result of the preliminary inquiry before engaging in a meaningful discussion. Blaming the MP who recommended passes for the intruders is unfair, as MP have historically recommended visitors without extensive background check. The focus should remain on addressing the security lapses rather than individual blame, because members of parliament are political leaders, so they have they represent large constituency, so it is not possible on their part to verify that each and every visitor, and normally these passes are issued on request. So putting the blame on the MP who was recommended for the issuing the pass is not the solution, rather it is a big breach of the security, so manned by the security agencies. And if you see the development, yesterday the government decided to give this responsibility to the CISF. The Central Industrial Security Force has been given the complete responsibility of the security of the parliament. Yesterday, the decision, the government decided that the central forces called the Central Industrial Security Force (CISF), so will man the security of the entire parliament, and it has been taken away from the Delhi police. Earlier, the major responsibility of the Delhi police, which was under the control of the Union Home Ministry, but after this incident, as a first reaction, the government decided to take away this responsibility of the Delhi police for its lapses and hand it over to the Central Industrial Security Forces. Legal implications and further investigation. The individuals involved in the breach may not have caused harm, but the gravity of the revelation exposing vulnerability in parliament security is underscored. By acknowledging the charges under the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, a call for a fair inquiry is made, emphasizing the need for legal proceedings against unauthorized entry into well-guarded spaces. A call for the sweeping changes. To address the security issue comprehensively, a committee comprising MP from various parties should be formed, supervised by the Secretary of Security in the Cabinet Secretary. This committee should involve specialists from both inside and outside the security sector to implement out-of-the-box security measures, coordination among the various security forces, guarding parliament should be improved, possibility under the leadership of the Director General, ensuring accountability and responsibility, and MP should actively cooperate with enhanced security arrangements. So in conclusion, it can be said the evolving nature of security threats necessitates constant monitoring and upgrading of the security infrastructure. The December 13 incident in 2001 should act as a reminder that people are killed, and the recent December 13th incident again serves as a stark reminder that the most robust security arrangement can be breached. The analysis underscored the need for a collaborative and proactive approach between the Ministry of Home Affairs and Parliament to fortify security measures and protect the sanctity of the nation's democracy. Because earlier in the past, in 2001, Indian Parliament was attacked by the terrorists, and to save the life of the MPs, so many security personnel, around 9 persons, sacrificed their life at the bullet of the terrorists. Then the next topic is the Post Office Bill 2023. Parliament of India passed the Post Office Bill 2023 to replace the Indian Post Office Act 1898. With the history of the post office regulation in India, India saw the opening of the first post office by East India Company in 1727 at Calcutta. Governor General Lord Dalhousie appointed a post office commission in 1850 for a proper regulation. Lord Dalhousie recognized the Indian post offices as a separate organization of national importance. The Post Office Act XVII 1854 was framed after the recommendation of the Post Office Commission. appointed by Dalhousie. The Post Office Acts VII 1854 was replaced by the Post Office Act 1866, which was amended a number of times because of the defects and the omissions in the past. A new bill was introduced in 1890 to amend the Act of 1866 that became the Indian Post Office Act 1890 after enactment. It included within its scope postal insurance, the value payable in post, the BVP, and the post office money order system, and declared and limited the government's liability in respect of these matters. Need to amend the post office regulations. Why the regulations are amended? Post Office Bill 2023 was introduced to repeal the Indian Post Office Act 1890 and to consolidate and amend the law relating to the post office in India. A colonial era law is not relevant in today's world where services have massively expanded. So during that period, post office are only as a agents to deliver the letter to the people and parcel to the people. Okay, post office are now not just an office to distribute letters, but they are hubs of various financial and other services. Postal network has more than 1.5 lakh post offices, which over 1.29 lakh in rural area. Out of the 1.5 lakhs post offices, so 1.29 lakhs are in the rural area. Almost all the villages in India are covered by the post office network. There is a need to provide a simple legislative framework to facilitate the evolution of the post office into a network for delivery of citizen-centered services. Key features of the bill: exclusive privileges of the Indian government. It provides that wherever the central government establishes post, it will have the exclusive privilege of conveying letters by post, as well as conveying letters by the post, as well as incidental services such as receiving, collecting, sending and delivering letters. It provides for the issuance of postage stamps as per the prescribed rules. Director General to make regulations regarding services. It provides for the appointment of a Director General of the Postal Services. We have an Indian Postal Service in the Indian Public Service Commission Civil Service Examination. It has power to decide the time and manner of delivery of postal services and may make regulations regarding any activity necessary to provide postal services. Powers to intercept postal articles. It allows interception of an article being transmitted to the post on certain grounds like occurrence of any public emergency or in the interest of public safety or tranquility or on the security of the state. An intercepted shipment can be detained or disposed of or destroyed shipment carrying items prohibited under the Act or any other law by the officer in charge. The Indian government may empower an officer of Indian Post, so like the Indian Postal Service officers, to deliver the postal article to the custom authority or any other specified authority. Exemption from the liability. They exempt the government from any liability related to the loss, misdelivery, delay or damage to postal articles. So government is not responsible. Officers also exempt from such liability unless they have acted fraudulently or willfully. Okay, in case they don't act fraudulently or willfully, officers will not be held responsible. They are exempted from any such liability. Removal of offences and penalties. Specified various offences and penalties, all of which were removed by the Jan Vishwas Amendment Provision Act of 2023. The bill does not provide for any offence or consequences except one: amounts not paid by the user will be recoverable as arrears of land revenue. In case they have not paid the amount, it will be recovered as arrears like the land revenue. Concerns: the amendment relating to interception of articles being transmitted to the post could be a concern. It does not specify procedural safeguards. This may violate freedom of speech and expression and the right to privacy of individuals. So they can open any parcel. The ground for interception includes emergency, may be beyond reasonable restrictions under the Constitution of India. The bill does not specify any offences and penalties. For instance, there are no consequences for unauthorized opening of postal articles by the postal officer. This may have adverse implication for the right to privacy of the customers. So because each the postal officer will be allowed to open any article, so it will definitely have an impact on the okay. So the Post Office Bill 2023 emphasizes digital addressing by opening of avenue for efficient mail and parcel delivery, as streamlining the sorting processes. Despite despite few concerns raised in the okay, despite few concerns raised in the bill, it still mark a significant step in clarifying and modernizing the Indian Post and related infrastructure. Indian Coast Guard. Recently, the Indian Coast Guard has deployed its ship, aircraft, and disaster relief team in flood-affected area of the South Tamil Nadu. So, established in 1978 under the Ministry of Defence, the Indian Coast Guard was established by the Coast Guard Act 1978 as an independent armed forces of India. It is the fourth largest coast guard in the world. It has jurisdiction over the territorial water of India that spread to 12 nautical miles, including its contiguous zone and exclusive economic zone. It is an armed force, search and rescue and maritime law enforcement agency. Look at here, it is an armed force, search and rescue and maritime law enforcement agency. Anyone violating the maritime law will be coming under the scanner of the Indian Coast Guard. For effective command and control, The maritime zone of India are divided into 5 coast guard regions, namely Northwest regional headquarters at Gandhinagar in Gujarat, West regional headquarters in Mumbai, Maharashtra, East regional headquarters Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Northeast regional headquarters Kolkata in West Bengal, Andaman Nicobar regional headquarters Port Blair in Andaman. Function: preventing smuggling, Defence Acquisition Council. So it is responsible for marine environment protection in maritime zones of India and in the coordinating authority for response to oil spill in Indian water. In case any ship or anyone involved in oil spill, so the okay, it has also rescued approximately 13,000 personnel till date during the various aid to civic authority like flood, cyclone, etc. Which assistance provided to civic authority during floods, cyclones, and other natural calamity. Most recently, during the recent flood in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Goa, the Indian Coast Guard has played commendable role. It is also working in close coordination with the central and state agency to put in place a robust coastal security mechanism, because after the Mumbai terror attack, the responsibility of Coast Guard has been enhanced, as well as the marine police station has been created, and the Coast Guard has been mandated to also coordinate with the marine police station and to ensure the coastal security. It is responsible for marine environment protection in maritime zones of India. Then the next topic is the Rail Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So recently, the Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that Indian Railway, the Rail Kaushal Vikas Yojana, guarantee are not preferred for railway jobs. About the scheme launched in 2021 by the Minister of Railway, the objective is imparting training skill to the youth across several trades to bring qualitative improvement. Rail Kaushal Vikas Yojana is a skill development scheme with a special focus on providing training for jobs that are relevant to the railway. It is a sub-scheme under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana (PMKVY). The training is imparted in 14 industry-relevant technical trades: electrician, welder, machinist, fitter, etc. The training is provided free of cost to the candidates. There is no provision for providing employment under this scheme. Only training is provided. After that, they have to compete, clear the examination, then join the service. Participants will be selected from applicants received online following a transparent mechanism based on marks in the matriculation. Candidates who have passed class 6 and are aged between 18 to 35 are eligible to apply. After the end of the program, trainee has to pass a standardized assessment followed by a certificate in the allotted trade by the National Rail and Transportation Institute. Significance: it will improve the employability of the youth as well as upgrade the skill of the self-employed. It will also cater to those who are working with contractors through reskilling and upskilling. Okay, because in railway, many work are outsourced and contractors are employed, and these youths are working with the contractor. Okay. It will improve the employability of the youth as well as upgrade their skill of self-employed. It will also cater to those who are working with contractors through reskilling and upskilling. The next topic is the A1 Wildlife Sanctuary context. Recently, the South Wayand Forest Division official shifted a 13-year-old male tiger from the A1 Wildlife Sanctuary to the quarantine facility at the Uthur Zoological Park in Thrissur for safety. The OAS Wildlife Sanctuary was established in 1973 and is located in Kerala's OAS district. The sanctuary is a component of the Nilgiri Biosphere region, the designated UNESCO heritage site, and of Elephant Reserve of number 7 of South India. It covers the A1 plateau situated at the confluence of the three biological distinct and diverse regions, the main Western Ghat Mountains, the Nilgiri Hills and the Deccan Plateau. The Kabini River, a tributary of the Kaveri River, flows through the sanctuary. The flora consists of most deciduous forest, west coast semi-evergreen forest, and thick eucalyptus and the Grevillea plantations. The fauna includes elephant, goat, tiger, panther, sambar, spotted deer, barking deer, wild boar, sloth bear, Nilgiri langur, and more. Okay. So this tiger has been shifted for safety purpose. Okay. Then the Arindamedio cave art. The recent discovery of the prehistoric rock art in the Adri Mamelo cave in western Madagascar has unveiled a treasure trove of unique and previously unseen pictorial depictions, making a notable departure from the basic symbols found in earliest Madagascar rock art sites. Notable discoveries: Egyptian influences. Some depicted scenes appear to be related to Egyptian religious motif from the polemic period 300 to 30 BC. Connections to Ethiopia and the Afro-Arab world. Symbolism and writing on the cave walls indicated ties to the Ethiopian Afro-Arab spheres. Okay, the Borneo art style, the prevalent symbology and the motifs resonated with a cave art style from Borneo dating back to the 2 millennia. Depicted extinct animals. Astonishingly, the cave art potentially portrays three extinct animals of Madagascar: a giant sloth, a lemur, elephant bat, and the giant tortoise. Noteworthy figures. Their art comprises various drawings including animals, human-like and like animal-like forms, geometric designs, and unique M-shaped symbol. Egyptian references. Notable images include depiction of Egyptian motifs such as the falcon, Horus, Thoth, and the figures resembling Anubis. Mysterious M figures. The ubiquitous M-shaped symbol found in the cave are resembled the ancient Ethiopian Amharic alphabet, which translates to the breath of life in some Austronesian languages. Significance: Madagascar's people, language, and culture are believed to have ancient connection to Borneo and influences from continental Eastern Africa. The discovery's implications hold significance in the reconstruction of the Malagasy early history. About this Adri Mamelio cave, the Adri Mamelio cave is situated in the western part of the Madagascar. The cave is nested within the stratified limestone terrain of the Pesaga Hominax Potes di Benca, contributing to a unique geological structure. This cave is a notable part of the border crust region and includes the Park National di Burma, acknowledged as the UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its exceptional crust landscape and biodiversity. Additionally, it is proximate to the Ostinomabo crust area, an area that has been relatively less studied compared to other crust regions in the vicinity. Being part of the crustified limestone terrain, the cave represents an essential component of the border crust landscape characterized by intricate underground formation resulting from the it is a crust topography. Okay, and this cave are of crust creation origin. Then coming to the question, tribal rights should not be disregarded in the pursuit of progress. In this context, explain what do you understand by tribal rights? What are the legislative measures taken by the state to protect the rights of the tribals? A tribe is an independent political division of the population with a common culture. The most important factor of unity or the distinctiveness of the tribals. Okay, the tribe is an independent political division of a population with a common culture. The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous People (UNDRIP) recognizes indigenous peoples' right to self-determination, autonomy or self-governance, and their right against forceful displacement and relocation from their lands or territories without free, prior, or informed consent. In India, tribal rights flow from the Constitution of India and other legal measures taken by the state. Therefore, tribal rights are a cluster of entitlements provided to protect and promote the quality of life, culture, and livelihood of the tribals. Provisions in the Constitution with respect to the protection of the tribes. Part 10 of the Constitution contains special provisions relating to the administration of scheduled area and the tribal areas. Article 342 provides for the specification of tribes or tribal communities or groups within tribes or tribal community which are deemed to be for the purpose of the Constitution, the scheduled tribe in relation to that state or union territory. Article 14, 15, 16, 19 and 46 of the Constitution provide for various educational, economic and public employment related safeguards to scheduled tribes. Political safeguards are provided to scheduled tribes in the form of preservation of seats in the Lok Sabha, Legislative Assembly and the Panchayats. Other legislative measures for the protection of the rights of the tribes in India. Forest Right Act 2006, the act recognizes the rights of the forest dwelling tribal community and their traditional forest dwellers, forest resources on which their community are dependent for a variety of needs including livelihood, vegetation and other socio-cultural needs. The main objective of the acts are to undo the historical injustice that occurred to the forest dwelling community because as they are living inside the forest, so they are not being allotted any specific right as like the persons in the other areas. To ensure land tenure, livelihood and food security of the forest dwelling scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers, to strengthen the conservation regime of the forest by including the responsibility and authority of forest rights holders for sustainable use, conservation of biodiversity and maintenance of ecological balance. In the Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas Act, the PESA Act 1996, the fundamental spirit of the Panchayat Extension Act for tribal area under the 5th schedule is that it devotes power and authority of the Gram Sabha and Panchayatas and paves the way for participatory democracy. The act gives Gram Sabha the authority to play an important part in the approving development plans and managing all social sections. Because in the name of development, the biggest harm is caused to the tribals. So this PESA Act strengthen the rights of the tribals. Okay. The Scheduled Tribe Act 1998 that was passed to prevent the commission of offences of atrocity against the members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, provide for the special code for the trial of such offences and for the relief and rehabilitation of the victim of such offences. Protection of the Civil Right Act 1955 that prescribes punishment. The act provides punishment for preaching and practicing untouchability under the act. Civil rights means any right occurring on a person by reason of the abolition of untouchability by Article 17 of the Indian Constitution. Okay. formation of the Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India (TriFed). It is a national level cooperative body established under the Multi-State Cooperative Society Act 1984. It was formed with the main objective of institutionalizing the trade of minor forest products and providing the tribals of India with a fair price for the surplus agricultural products produced by them. While the legislation for the protection of the rights of the tribal people are in place, they are regularly flouted as has been highlighted by the DAXA Committee report in 2014. The committee recommended measures such as establishing agro-based training institutions and labor-intensive processing industry in tribal region. Tribal farmers should be motivated to undertake organic farming and eco-forestry. Or the state must also try to minimize displacement and follow a right-based approach to rehabilitate them. Okay, then coming to the question, the first question. So, with reference to the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, consider the following. So, it is the flagship scheme of the Ministry of Labour and Employment. That is not correct. It among other things will also impart training in soft skill, entrepreneurship and financial and digital literacy. It aims to align the competency of the unregulated workforce of the country to the national skill qualification framework. Here 2 and 3 are correct. The Adrimalok Cape recently renewed is in Madagascar. So with regard to the postal service in India, consider the following statement. This comes under the Indian list of the Constitution of India. That's right. The postal comes from the Indian list. The Indian Post Office Act 1898 regulates the postal services offered by the Indian government through Indian Post and departmental undertakings. Right. The above act grants the Indian government exclusive privilege over conveying letters. So all the 3 are correct here. Consider the following statement. Wave and Wildlife Sanctuary was formed in 1973 and is brought under the Project Elephant in 1991-92. That is correct. The sanctuary is contiguous to the tiger reserve of the Nagarpole and Bandipur, Karnataka, and the Madumalai of Tamil Nadu. The Kabini River, which is a tributary of the Kabri River, flow through the sanctuary. All the 3 are correct here. Consider the following statement with reference to the Indian Coast Guard. It operates under the Ministry of Home Affairs. The Indian Coast Guard motto is Bayam Rakhyam. Okay, so which translates from Sanskrit as we protect. The recommendation of the Nago Chaudhary committee related to the setting of the Coast Guard. So here only 1 is correct. Not on the this is incorrect. This is incorrect. Only 2 is correct. So the following statement on December 15, 2023, the World Health Organization officially include NOMA, a severe gangrenous disease of the mouth and face, in list of neglected tropical disease. That is right. So it is also known as the Cancrum oris noma, as a high mortality rate of 9%, and is associated with the extreme poverty, malnutrition, poor sanitation. Here both 1 and 2 are correct. The Gelugpu Smart City project, a mega international city near the Indian border recently seen in news, is situated in Bhutan. Recently, scientists have uncovered a remarkable lithium reserve estimated to be about 540 billion in the Salton area. So this sea is located in which country? This is in USA. Which of the following statement regarding the summer air defense missile system recently developed by the Indian Air Force is correct? Summer has been designed to employ old Russian origin air-to-air missile system for surface-to-air defense. So C is the right answer. So consider the following statement. In India, Kerala has also introduced the VAT tax in 2016, which later got subsumed into the Indian Goods and Service Tax 2017. Correct. Sugar sweetened beverages are taxed with a 20% GST rate and 21% compensation of cess. So here it is also correct. So answer will be both 1 and 2 are correct. Okay. So thank you for watching. Keep watching regularly to update yourself.